What's going on? This is Ryan with Automatic Comics, and up next we've got the second part of this big CGC submission unboxing. This was 25 books. If you haven't watched the first video, you can watch that one after this one. You can watch them in any order, but I'm going to go over 11 of the books from this submission. I have not checked the grades yet, so we're going to find out how I did together. And at the end of this video, we'll also go over values like I did in the last one. So stick around to the end if you want to see the values of these books as well. Let's get into these. Alright, so before we get started, please remember to hit that like button and hit the subscribe button if you'd like to see more content like this. You can see I'm wearing the same shirt as the last video because I'm just filming it one after another, even though you're seeing these videos at separate times. This was part of a pretty big submission that I did with CGC. It was 36 comics and then 28 magazines. The magazines are all still there, being graded, that kind of thing. All the comics have come back except for there's 8 more books in this vintage tier submission that are in the mail right now. They can't send 33 together. The most they can send in one box is 25, and so those other 8 are in a separate box. So in that last video, went through 11 books. We're going to go through 11 books here again, and then we're going to go through 12 in that other video when those other books arrive. So if you haven't watched one of these videos before, I do not check the grades beforehand. So we learn what I got on these together. I have my list down here in front of me that is my grade estimate. So I'll show the book. I won't show the top where the grade is. I'll talk about what my grade estimate was, talk a little bit about the book, and then we'll see how I did. At the end of the video, like I said in the intro, we'll also go over the values for each of these. So let's start at this. Let's get into these books. So the first one. All right. First book here. Okay, so this is Black Terror number 10. So Black Terror, if you're not familiar, he's kind of like he's a no longer used Golden Age character. He was a very popular character during the Golden Age. A lot of the covers were done by Alex Schomburg. I believe this cover is also an Alex Schomburg cover. And this is one where it's a World War II Nazi cover where he's punching this guy that has a flamethrower, and then he's got his sidekick in the back there, which I can never remember his name. I think it's Tim. I think his sidekick is just named Tim. If somebody wants to tell me in the comments or remind me, I'm pretty sure it's just like Tim. It's a weird sidekick name. But I always think this character is hilarious because he's got this like skull and crossbones on his chest. He's all dressed in black. He looks like a villain, but he is a hero. So this one I picked up from an Instagram claim sale, a live claim sale. And let's see here. I had this book as a 3 to a 3.5. Right, a 4.5. Nice. And off-white to white pages. That is really nice. So it's a nice copy. It just has this chip in the upper corner, which is really holding it back. But overall, solid copy other than that chip up there. But yeah, World War II, Nazi flamethrower cover, punching the guy in the face, and yeah, Alex Schomburg cover. So Alex Schomburg cover. So that's the first one. Good start. All right, so I had it as a 3 to a 3.4. Well, let me check for any. I always want to check for cracks and that kind of stuff. That's part of the reason why you have to open these right away, because CGC will, if there's cracks or problems with any of the books, they will recase them for you, but only if you reach out to them. And I can never remember. It's like within the first, I think it's like 2 weeks, like 10 business days or something like that. But that one looks fine. In my last unboxing, if you haven't watched that one yet, there were a couple issues with some of the holograms that were like really scraped off. So hopefully I don't see anything else like that in these. All right, book number 2. Oh, okay, so this is a cool one. I had never seen this before. Picked this up off of an eBay auction. And I just when I see things I haven't seen before, because I've seen a lot of books at this point, I get drawn to them and I try to pick those things up. So this is Archie, Your Official Store Club magazine. It's non-numbered. I believe this is the 1949 one. There are a few of them out there, and they're pretty rare. You don't see them come up very often. I had this one as a 5.0. Got the 5.0 in white pages. I showed the interior of this before, and it's a different type of paper than most comic paper. It's like more of a thicker, almost like cardstock, but it's a really thin book. It's only a few pages on the interior, and it was a pretty nice copy. It had a lot of stuff going on the spine that's been pressed out pretty well. The main issues you're going to see on the back, there's a fair amount of foxing on this book. That's what these brown dots are. It's not staining or anything. It's what's called foxing. And so there's foxing on this book. There is a little bit of spine wear, but overall, pretty solid presenting copy. There's only one other copy on the census, and it's just not something I really ever see pop up for sale. So I thought this one was pretty cool. So Archie, Your Official Store Club Magazine, NN, and 1949. But yeah, like I said, really thin book. It's a kind of a unique one to hold. All right, so let's see, number 3. All right, what are you? Oh, okay, this is Amazing Spider-Man Annual number 7. And so I picked this one up from the Fantast collection. If you're not familiar with that, there's a movie that's being done on it, and there were some really big books in the Heritage Auction, like I think it was like a Superman one and a couple Batman ones, that kind of thing. But they have, this collection is massive, and so they've been doing some sales for it that have been hosted by One True Nerd King and Rage Theo on Instagram. And I bought a number of books from it, and some of them I decided to send into CGC. This was one of them. I had this one as a 9.2. Let's see how we did. Ugh, oof. That's the first one I think I've had that I've been under my estimate, and yeah. I mean, it happens every once in a while. I mean, I'll have to take a closer look at it, see what maybe I missed. I'll take a look at the grader's notes later. But, I mean, at least it's white pages. But 8.5 white pages. I mean, it's a square bound. So you kind of like that square bound there. But, it's a pretty nice book. Like I said, I'll have to take a look at the grader notes and see maybe what I missed. It's not one that I feel like, I know this isn't a very high value book, so I don't think it would be really worthwhile to send back in or anything. But we'll see what an 8.5 is worth. Like I said, I'll go over the values at the end of this. But yeah, this back cover. And cleaned up, really, really nice. But yeah, it's what it is, 8.5. All right. And I had mentioned this in the first video. I'm also, when all of these are done, this was a 36 book comic submission, and I'm going to look at my grades, how I did, like if I was exactly right, if I was a half grade off, 1 grade off, high, low, that kind of thing. I'll average it all out and see how I did overall across this 36 book submission. This feels like a thicker case. What is this? Oh, this is one of the coolest books that's in here. So this is Airboy Comics Volume 4, Number 8. This is such a wild cover. Like, this cover is crazy. Ever since I saw this cover, I think maybe a couple years ago, I had wanted to try to pick up a copy of it. You don't see them very often. And Airboy has, I mean, it has a lot of kind of like meh covers in it, like covers I'm not really all that interested in, but this one is really cool. This is not a cheap book. So I had this one as a 6 to a 6.5. Really beautiful copy. The main thing was some staple rust, and maybe I'll show that if I can later after I kind of reveal the grades. So let's see how we did. 6.5. Nice. I am really happy with that. So see, there's some staple rust here, but it did not migrate into the interior. I remember when I graded it originally, like there was this rust on the it's hard to see, but there was some of this rust on the staples and a little bit of migration into the cover, but nothing into the interior. It was actually, I was surprised. So, but yeah, 6.5. That is I love the color, this background color, this kind of like purple to pink fade. There's no fading on this cover. That's not from sunlight or anything. That's how the cover was designed and made. But yeah, that is a really, really nice looking copy of this book. Yep, that's awesome. I'm going to look up the values, but I know that is not a cheap book. 6.5 is nice. So I'm very happy with that. That's cool. That is probably going to be one of the bigger books that is in this box. So yeah, I'm very happy about that. All right. I picked that one up on like an online store. All right, what's next? What are you? Oh, okay. So this is Marvel Premiere number 4. So this was from an Instagram claim sale. This was from the same one that, if you watch my last video, there was a Defenders number 1 that was sold as a 9.4 or something like that. And it was an 8.0. Like it was, I was disappointed. This one was higher grade though. I wasn't disappointed with this one. I had this one as a 9 to a 9.2. And we got the 9.4. All right, so we made up for it on this one. This is not an expensive book. I know this is not an expensive book, but still, it's cool to get, you know, Bronze Age 9.4. I mean, that's a nice copy of this book. So, I mean, that's one of the challenges. Like you're trying to figure out what's going to clean up in pressing, and this one cleaned up really, really nice. Yeah, like that spine looks really good. Man, yeah, it looks really nice. That spine really cleaned up. So yeah, I mean, just taking a look at that to focus there, because it's got that red there. Like it's really, you know, if you have a tick that goes into the color, it's gonna show. So that is a really nice looking book. I'd say the main things are just kind of like some lightly soft corners. Yeah, I thought I remembered there being like a whole bunch of like non-color breaking ticks along the spine, and I don't see them now. Yeah, I mean, I don't see them at all. Looks great. So yeah, real happy with that. And like the other books, because these are all pressed and cleaned by the same presser, I sent these to my presser, who is The Comic Book Presser. That is his name. And so he pressed and cleaned all of these, and awesome. Real happy with that. That really took care of those little like indentations or like kind of like non-color breaking ticks along the spine. That's number 5. All right, now on to number 6. What are you? Oh, okay, this is a cool book. So this is Meet Corliss Archer number 2. Now in my video where I did the submission, I had forgotten to grade this one. Now, the reason I bought this book, though, is that I bought this off Heritage. Heritage had it as a 5.5. I thought Heritage had undergraded it. And so I'm always looking for that. That's one of those things I'm always looking for. This is an L. Feldstein Good Girl Art cover. It's just 3 issues, I think. 1, 2, and 3. I went and checked it after I did that video, and I have it as a 6.5 to a 7. The cool thing, though, is that this one has pink pages. So I'm expecting to see like a pink page designation on this book. So let's check this one out. Whoa, 8.0. That is huge for this book. I bet that's one of the better books that's out there. It's also a Sodi book. And yep, you can see, so pink pages. And so I showed that it was either in the unboxing video or when I was going through the submission. And I remember I was hesitant to take the book out because I felt like it was really nice, especially for this book, for this era. I mean, this is 1948. But yeah, I mean, I remember like, man, that cleaned up so nice. I remember like some stuff on the spine I didn't think was going to clean up. That looks really good. Man, 8.0. I'm going to have to check that one out. I bet, like I said, I bet that is one of the best copies out there. Yeah, that's awesome. There's the back cover. But yeah, pink pages designation. And if you want to see what those look like, you can go check out that video. I showed that interior, like I said. Wow, that is awesome. Super happy with that. Like I was not expecting that. That is really great. So I said you have to get your books pressed and cleaned before you submit. And I recommend third-party pressers like the Comic Book Presser to do that, because man, that made the difference on that book. 8.0. Wow. Awesome. All right. So that is, let's see here. That's number 6. So let's see. So number 7. What's this? Okay, this is Giant Size Creatures #1. Bought this on an Instagram claim sale. This was another one. This wasn't that same seller, but this was one who sold as a 9.4. I didn't think it could get a 9.4. I had this one as a 9.0. This is the first appearance of Tigra. The main thing was just like a ding down in the corner, but I felt like it was a big enough ding that it was going to cause some problems. So let's see how we did. 9.0, white pages. All right, so I mean, it's what I thought it was. Yeah, you can see there's that kind of like that crunch that was down in that corner there. I mean, the bends and stuff are fixed, but it was color breaking, and so you can only do so much about a color break. I mean, otherwise, a very nice copy of this book. But I mean, like a little softness down in that corner, but the big thing was this corner down here. So, oh well, you know, is what it is, but still, 9.0. All right, so can't complain when it's, you know, the grade that I think it's going to be. But I can complain about, you know, being sold as a 9.4. All right, let's see here. Let's adjust these down there. All right, so how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. So we have 4 more, I think. All right. Okay, this is another Fantast collection book. And I just sent this one in because it was really nice. I had it as a 9.0, but it was similar to that Marvel Premiere #4. It had a whole bunch of like non-color breaking little things on the spine, and I was not sure how well they could be cleaned up. So, I mean, I was super happy with that Marvel Premiere. So I'm hoping maybe the same thing here. So here's that. I had it as a 9.0. Let's see how we did. Oh, 9.4 white pages too. So yeah. Yep. I mean, cleaned up really nice. So yeah, very happy with that. Again, not a book that's a high value book. I mean, it's like a run filler, Conan the Barbarian, but it's early Bronze Age, 1972, and you know, near mint, 9.4, and white pages. So really nice copy of the book, just a very high grade copy. And so when you've got something that's a high grade like this, I mean, I feel like it's worth sending in to get graded. That's how you're gonna get the most value out of the book. I mean, I think I only paid like $30 for it. So it was not like a high price book. It wasn't a lot of risk with it. And so that's why I felt like it was worthwhile to, you know, spend that little bit of money and see what we get. So yeah, that's great. Real happy with that. 9.4. But yeah, I mean, like that blue along, it's not like the black picture frame covers like you have with like Marvel Spotlight 5 or Special Marvel Edition 15. It's a blue picture frame, but you're still going to have, you know, color breaks show on that. It's not like it's going to hide those color breaks because it's a solid color there. So, yep, cool, awesome, very happy with that. So we should get 3 more out of this one. All right, what's the next one? Oh, okay, this one, I've had this one for a little while, for maybe like a year and a half or so. These other books, I think I bought them all, I think in like 2023, like this year, but I think I bought this one like early 2022. This is Men's Adventures #27. And so this is like late Golden Age, and it's when they started trying to bring back some of these superheroes. Was not very successful, and so they were pretty short runs with these types of things. But let's see, I had this one as a 6.0, which is a nice grade for this book. This is a tough book outside of very low grades. I mean, you don't see them very often anyway. They're relatively scarce for the era. The main thing was there was some like color breaks and stuff down here. But like I said, I had this one at a 6.0. All right, 6.5. Nice. So yes, you can see here, you know, Captain America, Submariner, and Human Torch stories. So it's like they were bringing back those superheroes. They were trying to in this era, and just it wasn't all that successful yet. Let's see. And the main thing is it's a little tougher to make out the flaws on this one because of that light color here. But yeah, the main issues are basically down here along the spine. It's just really some roughness along that spine, and then there's a crease down here, color break in that corner. But overall, a pretty nice book. 6.5 is a nice grade for this book. I'll be interested to see what the values are for that. Imagine that. I don't think there's a lot of sales for this book. They don't come up for sale very often, so interesting to see what that one is. But yeah, 6.5. It's nice. All right. Next one. Okay, this is another fantastic book. This is Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. #1. The other box that is still coming here has 2 more issues from this that I also picked up from that fantastic collection. It has issue 3 and 13. This was the lowest grade of the 3. I had this one at a 8.0. This is a Steranko cover, and just, I mean, a lot of these covers, especially the early ones that were done by him in this run, are kind of like real psychedelic, like 60s type covers. And so pretty cool, looking cover. But I had this one, like I said, as an 8.0. Got an 8.5 and white pages again. Nice. So yeah. Main flaws on this one are along that top edge. Top edge is that little corner up there. But yeah, like, spine is super clean. Bottom edge is clean. I think there's a little crease down here. Yeah, like a little crease, like a light one down in this corner here. That right edge is really nice. I mean, like, look at how glossy and everything that book is. That is incredible. So yeah, main flaws are just this top edge. There's a few little color breaks and things, and that. But yeah, 8.5. White pages. Awesome. Yeah, very happy with that. That's great. All right, I think we're down to the last book. Yeah, so this is the last book for this video. Then I'll look up values and everything, and come back and we'll talk about the values for these books. All right. Oh, this is a good one to end on. This is another big book from this. So this is Haunted Thrills #13. There are some incredible skull covers in the Haunted Thrills run. This is one of them. Just, this is my favorite style of skull from this. So this is from, I believe these are Feral Publications, and these covers were done by what's called the Iger Shop. So basically they almost like contracted out to like this called like the Iger Shop, which was a bunch of artists. So they never know who did the covers. It's unfortunate because you don't know who did the covers. It was just, a group of artists working there. But you can kind of tell like who did certain ones, or like that there was a certain person that did certain ones because of the styles. And this one, it's this skull that has these really sharp teeth. And there's a few covers that have that. And so it's like, he or she did those. And so I really like this one. I think it's a cool cover, kind of a, like a fun little cover there. And the main flaws are on the top edge. I'm just trying not to show the grade. There's like some water damage and color lift along this top edge, and then this like crease over here. But I had this one as a 3.0. Let's see how we did. 3.5. Nice. I mean, like, half grades are a big deal in this book. This is a pricey book, so I'm very happy with that. So Haunted Thrills #13, off-white to white pages. You can see you've got this, like I said, like this like kind of like water damage along the top, and then this crease right here. But overall, cleaned up really nice. I mean, yeah, it's like the main flaws are up there. You can see there's some writing on the back there too. Wow, that cleaned up really nice. I'm very happy with that. Yeah, colors are great too in that copy. So those are the 11 books for this video. I'm gonna cut. I will, like I said in the other one, it'll be seconds for you. It'll be many minutes for me as I price out these books. We'll come back and talk about the values for these books.
A few moments later.
All right, so we are back. Looked up the values for these books. These are my approximated values for these books. So we're going to start off with the book that kind of go in reverse order here. So we're going to start with Haunted Thrills #13 and a 3.5. This is a tough one because there are some really big sales just in like, I think like a 4.5. And then like down at like a 2.0, there were some lower sales. And so tough to price, but in a 3.5, I have this one as a, what did I say this one was? I have this one as a $2,000 book. in a 3.5. So pretty expensive book. All right, next one here. We've got Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., 8.5, white pages. I have this as a $300 book. Beautiful copy of this. Yeah, $300 for Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. in 8.5. All right, now Men's Adventures, number 27 and a 6.5. And yes, there are not a lot of sales for this book. This one's a little tricky, but in a 6.5, I have this as an $800 book. It could possibly even go for a little bit more. I think like the last sale in the 6.5 was like $781. It was something like that. And it was a few years ago. So it could be a little more than that. But still, pretty pricey book as well. 6.5, $800. All right. Now that Conan number 19 and in a 9.4, not a very pricey book. This might be the least expensive one from this video, but $190. So, I mean, still worthwhile to get graded. Like I said, I think it was around $30. Then I think it was maybe like 52 after pressing and cleaning and grading and everything. So like, I think I'm around like 80 something into it. So $190 for a 9.4. All right. This one I know I lost money on. So that one sucks a little bit. This is Giant Size Creatures number 1. Because like I said, it was supposed to be a 9.4. I think I paid like $210 for this book. It was not a 9.4. But you know, you win some, you lose some. And so in a 9.0, I have it as 195, and that's after the pressing and grading fees. And then when you sell it, you've got, you know, selling fees. So definitely a loss on this one, but still pretty cool book. So Giant Size Creatures number 1, first appearance of Tigra. All right, this one, I don't know how to price this book. So I'll say, like, I have approximate value. I mean, it could be higher. It is, I think, the third highest graded copy. There's like a 9.4 and a 9.0. I think that's the only other two that are above this. I mean, this is a high grade book, a high grade copy for this. And so this one I have at $1,100, but it's something where it's like, it could be more. It's like I said, it's not like there's others to really price it against. There's some lower grade copies that have sold. The high grade stuff hasn't sold for a long time. So hard to say for sure, but beautiful copy, amazing colors. Also has that cool pink pages designation. So like I said, rough estimate $1,100, but could be more than that. I may, you know, when I sell it, I may try asking, you know, more at first, and we'll see where it goes from there. But yeah, I mean, that is really cool to have that really high grade copy. All right, Marvel Premiere number 4. Oh, correction. This is the least expensive book in this unboxing. So even though it's a 9.4, I have this one just as $150. I think I paid like $60 for it, and then, you know, I'm into it again like $52 or whatever for pressing, grading, and cleaning. So I mean, I'm into it like $110. Like after selling it, it's like hardly anything. So, but still, it felt like just to get the value out of it, I had to get it graded, and yeah, very happy to get the 9.4. So $150. All right. Now this one, like I said, this is the biggest book so far, other than the, you know, in the last video I had my really big keeper book, but this is the Airboy Volume 4, number 8 in a 6.5, in a beautiful 6.5. This one I have approximately at $2,500. So this is not a cheap book. Like I said, this is a pricey book in general. This is also a very nice grade for this book. And so, yep, very happy with this one. I mean, amazing copy of this, but $2,500 for 6.5. All right. I'm going to correct myself again. This is the least expensive of the books. And this one, this is this Amazing Spider-Man Annual number 7, 8.5, white pages, $125. I didn't pay much for this one, if I remember correctly, so it's not a big deal anyway. I think I paid like $25 or something. But yeah, so 125 bucks, but I feel like still worthwhile to get graded. But yeah, I think the only one in this submission that went below my estimate. It happens. All right, this one is also virtually impossible to price because, like I said, there's only one other copy of this book that's on the census, and it's like a 8.5 or something like that. It's a high grade copy. And so what I did was I looked at what other Archie, your official Store Club magazine books from that era have sold for, because there's a few other ones that are out there. There are other sales for those other ones that are a little more recent. So I have this one as 800 plus. So I think it could go for more than that. I don't really know for sure. These are very rare. So it's going to be a very specific type of buyer that's going to be interested in it. But I mean, it's one of two on census. The other books have just as few out there. There really aren't many that exist. But I have it as $800, maybe more. I don't know exactly what it'll end up going for. But yeah, just a cool, rare book. And the last one for this video is the Black Terror number 10, World War II, Nazi flamethrower guy getting punched in the face. And this one, let's see, in a 4.5, I have as $850. Pretty pricey book. I mean, Alex Schomburg, World War II, you know, the German or Nazi covers. I mean, those are some of the big things that people want to collect for the Golden Age. And 4.5, off-white to white pages, nice page quality. Just overall, a pretty great book. So I have had one other copy of this before that I had bought from Alex the Comic Hoarder. I did not get that one graded. That one I've sold since then. I sold that one raw, but this one was nicer and decided to get this one graded. So, yep, Black Terror number 10, 4.5, $850. So, it's the second video of these. I've got one more that I'm going to film. I still have to wait for those other books to get in, though, to film that one. So I'm going to have to like close that box off, not look at those, those grades or anything. But if you enjoyed this video, if you want to see that other video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe button, notification bell. If you haven't checked out the first video that I did, the first 11 books, make sure to go check that one out as well. If you've got more videos over here, if you'd like to watch some of my other videos, subscription button is right here. If you'd like to subscribe to the channel, I would really appreciate it. And I will see you in the next video.